Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lorosportspod and WUSports Center with Loro and Matt. And today we got a great show ahead as we're going to recap Week 2, talk about our biggest takeaways from Week 2, and also preview Week 3 with our picks for Week 3. And then we got some baseball talk to talk about here and also some college football as well. So, Matt, you enjoyed some – How was your weekend? And you enjoyed some football games this weekend?
Yes, I did. Yeah, saw Michigan State defeat Miami on Saturday. That was a good game, and then on Sunday I was live at SoFi to watch the Cowboys beat the Chargers 20-17, and yeah, I've been enjoying. Had a good weekend. Watched a lot of football. What about you?
Same here. Great football this weekend. Looking forward to great football this weekend, too. So, anyways, let's recap Week 2. So, first, the Patriots demolished the Jets 25-6. And what was your biggest takeaway on that game? And is it time for you to label Zach Wilson a bust?
No, he's not a bust, I would say. I think, Belichick has always done really well against younger quarterbacks. I think he takes advantage of their inexperience, and I think they try to do too much out there. And Zach Wilson looks like he tried to do too much. He threw 4 interceptions. Tells me he was definitely trying to do too much out there. So, that was an expected defeat. And I think the Jets will. Zach Wilson will continue to emerge, and Mac Jones looked pretty good once again.
He sure did. Mac Jones looked good, but I thought that Zach Wilson's rookie year kind of reminded me of when Josh Allen came into the scene in 2018.
Yeah. He definitely has a little bit of glimpses of Josh Allen.
You mean in his rookie year?
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's talk about the Rams beating the Colts. So let's start with Carson Wentz being hurt. Obviously, that's a big blow to the Colts, but the Colts are 0-2, but there's no need to panic on them because this Colts team is very deep on defense, especially on offense. Their offensive line is still good, but Carson Wentz just needs to stay healthy. But on the Rams side of things, Matthew Stafford is the real deal here in LA, and he led the Rams to their third straight 2-0 start since Sean McVay has taken over as head coach.
Yeah, I think that the Colts. This is a cause for concern though with Wentz's health. 2 sprained ankles, and when you get injured in your back, it kind of just radiates out. You don't know, is it going to affect your hips or your shoulders next or your neck? If you get injured in your legs, like ankles, you start to overcompensate, maybe with your knees, maybe with your hips, and it leads to other issues, I think. So I think with Carson Wentz, his health is the number one priority, and they got to get back on track. The Colts, they had a tough start hosting the Seahawks and hosting the Rams, but they need a healthy Wentz to contend. And then with the Rams, they looked good again. I think they still need to prove they can run the ball consistently. That's one of their issues I'll be looking for in the coming weeks. But yeah, Stafford and the offense looked really good.
They sure did, and then they play the Buccaneers next week for Week 3. That's going to be a very tough game, but we'll have to talk about that in just a minute. So the Cowboys beat the Chargers 20-17, and you wrote something that this Chargers team still has promise despite starting 1-1.
Yeah, they do. That was a sloppy game. Just was 99 penalties or 98 yards of penalties with the Chargers, and there were 2 taunting penalties, which I know the NFL is emphasizing taunting this year, and I think much to the chagrin of a lot of players and coaches. They had 2 touchdowns called back because of penalties. They had a 30 or 35-yard gain called back because of a penalty. That was the ugly part. I think the The bad part a little bit is, their right tackle. Every offensive line has a weakness, but the Chargers' right tackle was Storm Norton. He seemed a bit overwhelmed by Micah Parsons out there, so they need to help him. They need to get him some help out there. I think that Keenan Allen didn't have his best game. I think that he on Herbert's one of his interceptions, Keenan Allen fell. On another one, he did the wrong route apparently, or something I was reading about. So Keenan Allen, I think, needs to step it up. But the good is Herbert. If it weren't for those penalties and for Keenan Allen kind of having an off game, like he could have had a monster game, and the Chargers should have won. I think that this is a situation they should have won. I think their rush defense needs some work, though. The Cowboys definitely took advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was told that the Cowboys defense looks a lot better with Dan Quinn, and Dak Prescott looked good as usual. And the Cowboys could have started off 0-2, but Greg Zuerlein, in his return to LA playing against the Chargers, he did get revenge on an LA team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that brings up to the Tristan Vizcaino missed a field goal in that game as well. I think it was like a 37-yarder or something. So once again,
still think the Chargers need to get a better kicker. I mean, Michael Badgley was kind of bad. They should have gotten Dan Bailey because he's a kicker that's known to kick in big moments, and Dan Bailey would have been a better addition to the Chargers special teams unit.
Yeah.
That's who I wanted the Chargers to get when they cut Michael Badgley. They should have gotten Dan Bailey, because Dan Bailey would have helped the Chargers in special teams a lot, because the Chargers were very bad at special teams last year. So you really need a good special teams to win football games. And I think the Chargers will learn from this game, and I do expect the Chargers to play better, but I think it's not going to be easy when they play in Kansas City.
No, it's not. It's going to be a tough one, but we'll get to that game in a bit, I guess.
Yeah, so let's talk about our Week 2 biggest takeaway. So my biggest takeaway in Week 2 is that the Panthers are off to a 2-0 start, and I think that they're going to be a surprise team, and everybody's going to be like, oh, they're going to be good for a long time. And I think Sam Darnold's in the right situation with Matt Rule and Joe Brady. And also, my other biggest takeaway is that Jalen Hurts, I think, is an upgrade in Philly over Carson Wentz. What about yours?
Big takeaway for that game. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts quite yet, but I think with the 49ers, I think that Kyle Shanahan, big takeaway, he can coach. He's dealing with so many injuries right now in a weird quarterback situation, yet they keep on popping off wins. So it's going to get tougher this week when they host Green Bay. That'll be a very interesting game for both teams. I think both teams, the jury is still out on, I think. We'll learn a little bit more in Week 3, I think.
Yes, absolutely. What about my biggest takeaway on the Panthers? Do you have any thoughts on that? You think that the Panthers are like one of the best teams in the NFC South? Do you still favor the Saints as the second best team in the NFC South after that, or is it Carolina now?
Yeah, after the Bucs, I think it's Carolina. I think that they have an opportunity here on Thursday night to go 3-0 with a win at the Houston Texans, and I think their record this year is going to be better than what the actual team is, because they have an easier schedule to play. But I think that the Carolina Panthers are going to surprise some people, and I think they'll get to 9 or 10 wins this year.
Absolutely. I mean, Matt Rule has done a good job rebuilding programs like how he did at Temple and Baylor. I think he's going to do a great job in Carolina. I think he's the right fit in Carolina.
I think so. They're looking good right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on to our Week 3 picks. Let's start with Thursday Night Football. The Carolina Panthers are taking on the Houston Texans. So the Houston Texans last week, 2 days ago, they lost to the Cleveland Browns. Tyrod Taylor got hurt, and the Texans' quarterback situation is in flux right now. Davis Mills is starting, but I don't know who's going to be the backup. I'll be doing that game tomorrow on Colorcast. And on the Panthers side of things, the Panthers are looking to keep it rolling. Like you said, easy schedule. But I'm going to say that I think the Carolina Panthers are going to win this game pretty handily there.
Yeah, they should get a big win. Although the Texans, they played pretty tough against the Browns, but now they have Tyrod Taylor out. Yeah, I think it's going to be rough going for them. I'm going with the Panthers, the big win.
Clean sweep for you and I here. So I think that I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be getting the ball, and I don't think that Texans defense is going to stop McCaffrey.
Right? Yeah, I don't think so either.
And also Robbie Anderson too. I think that New York Jet reunion with Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson, I think that's really worked out too.
Yep, I agree.
And now to the Sunday slate. One of these games I have is one of my locks of the week, and I have the my New England Patriots defeating the New Orleans Saints in a lock. And I say that because the Saints did not look good against the Panthers. They got exposed. Jameis Winston did not look very good, and it shows you that Jameis Winston, 1 week he's good, 1 week he's not. And I think that Bill Belichick and that Patriots defense is going to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Mac Jones is going to have another good game and continue his upward development.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are also going to get a win here. I think that I think that things are progressing right as they should be within the organization with Mac Jones, and I think they're going to get a win here. And the other, I guess the other part here, the Saints, I think after a blowout win that first week, I think there's some question marks, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Maybe if Jameis Winston continues to struggle, maybe Sean Payton would go with Taysom Hill because Sean Payton really loves Taysom Hill under center.
Right, yeah.
So, anyways, now let's talk about the Colts and the Titans. So, start with the Titans. Big upset win over the Seahawks last week on a game-winning field goal by Randy Bullock. And I was like, there's no way that Tennessee's going to go 0-2. Because I think that Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown and Julio Jones would bounce back after getting clobbered by Arizona in week 1. And for the Colts, it would make sense for them to go 0-3. And then I think that after their 0-3 start, I think they'll gel some wins there. So I'm going to pick Tennessee to win this game because they're at home. And I think that Derrick Henry is going to have a monster game again.
Yeah, he definitely had a monster game against last week against the Seahawks. Yeah, I think Titans going to get a win here, and they're going to go to 2-1. You were right, no panic with the Titans last week, and they came out on the road in a tough environment and got a nice overtime win against a pretty good Seahawks team. I'm going with Titans as well.
Yeah, since they're at home and they're playing the Colts, but I think that game will probably go to overtime. I don't think it's going to be blowout because I think that the Colts offense is going to keep up in this game. I mean, Jacob Eason's not that bad of a quarterback. I mean, he hasn't even played in an NFL game, but I trust Frank Reich in a way that he knows how to develop quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Frank Reich is a good coach that knows how to develop quarterbacks, and I think that when Wentz is healthy, he can really resurrect Wentz's career in Indy.
Yeah.
Now on to the Falcons and Giants. Both teams are winless, but I'm going to say the New York Giants win this game because I think that Atlanta's defense is atrociously bad. Saquon Barkley has a chance to have a big field day against that defense. And then for Atlanta's side, don't underestimate Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan and the Falcons made it interesting against Tampa Bay. But I think Atlanta's offense is going to continue to score some points. But I just think that their defense is going to be too bad for them to keep up with high-octane offenses.
Yep. This is the Atlanta Falcons, right?
Yes.
I'm going with the Falcons. I think that they finally get on track and get their first win of the season. It's going to be two desperate teams, I think, especially the Giants. But I feel that they just don't have it together yet, and I'm going to go with the Falcons here, getting their first win under head coach Arthur Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Arthur Smith's due for a win there, but I do think that I think that the Falcons, however, the Falcons are going to be good. I think Arthur Smith will help Matt Ryan rejuvenate his career, but the whole team in general is not good. But this is both teams that are desperate for a win. But you think Atlanta's going to win this game because of Matt Ryan and the passing game of Atlanta?
Yeah.
But the defense remains a question mark. But I think it's going to be both. I think it's going to be a close game between those two.
Yep.
So now let's talk about the Chargers and the Chiefs. So let's start with the Chiefs. Oh my God, on Sunday night against the Browns, Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled the football to give the Ravens the win. And Mahomes played great, but I just thought that the Edwards-Helaire fumble was the reason why the Chiefs lost this game. And for the Chargers, I think this team's going to continue to grow, but I'm going to say Kansas City's going to win this game. I just think that the Chargers, I think they can win this game, but I think it's going to be I think the Chargers are probably going to lose in a close one.
Yeah, this is a close one. I'm going to go with the Chargers pulling off an upset here. I think that they're going to fix those mistakes. I think they might catch the Chiefs by surprise. There'll be a big upset. Chiefs are favored by 6.5. But I think the Chargers are going to regroup, and I think go in there and get a win. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
In a hostile environment in Arrowhead Stadium, where the Chiefs normally play well in. The reason why I say the Chiefs is because I feel like that Mahomes and them are going to be so mad from what happened in Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
But you think the Chargers can make the Chiefs go 1-2 because of the way that because of Herbert and the Chargers learning from their mistakes in their game against the Cowboys?
Yep.
I could see that. So that's not my upset pick there. So basically my upset pick is when the Bengals stunned the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and I say that because I'm not really high on Big Ben Roethlisberger. I think that the Steelers defense will be there. I mean, T.J. Watt's injury is going to be the question mark in this game, but I really think that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to get it done in Pittsburgh. So that's my upset pick there. The Bengals coming into Pittsburgh with a win.
Yeah, I think so too.
And who's your pick to win that game?
I think Bengals. I'm calling the Bengals too. I think they shock the world and get a win in Pittsburgh. Ben has a pec injury now. I'm not sold on Pittsburgh, so I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Same here. I mean, the Bengals could have gone 2-0 against the Bears, but the Bears got lucky in winning.
Uh-huh.
So we'll talk about the Bears in a minute. So speaking of the Bears, Justin Fields is making his first career start on Sunday. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess Dalton's a little bit banged up, right? They were saying
He is banged up, and he could have torn his ACL, though.
Oh, wow. He's out for the season if that's the case.
Probably not. It's an MCL sprain.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Justin Fields era, it begins. I'm going with Cleveland in this game, though.
Same here. I'm going with Cleveland in a blowout because I think the Bears defense is going to get exposed by Nick Chubb in that run game, and also Kareem Hunt is going to also have a nice field day too.
Yep.
So, anyways, now let's talk about the Ravens playing your Detroit Lions. So, talk about that Monday night game for the Lions. They made things interesting against Green Bay, but in the second half, they totally collapsed.
Yeah, it was just like the inverse of the game against the 49ers where they got pounded the first half, and then the second half they kind of crawled back and made it very interesting. This was the opposite. You got to play a full game, not just one half. And the Lions, they're showing every week a lot of fight. So some miscues on offense really let things get out of control there in the fourth quarter. But I'm going with the Ravens in this game as well.
I'm going with the Ravens too, but with the Lions too, do you think Jared Goff has shown you that he can be your franchise quarterback?
I think so, at least for the next couple of years. I think that he needs some weapons. Like, that's clear. I mean, he can't just he has a tight end, TJ Hawkinson, he has DeAndre Swift, and that's kind of it. Like, he doesn't really have anyone else to go to. So
what about Tyrell Williams when he's healthy? He's like his number one receiver, and St. Brown too.
Yeah, when he's healthy, yeah. So, I think that they need to find him some help, though. And the offensive line needs to get a little bit better. And I think they can get some wins this season if that happens.
I mean, Penny Sewell's lived up to being one of your first-round picks. I mean, he's a good right tackle to keep that pocket upright for Goff.
Yeah.
So, do you think that St. Brown is like going to be Goff's number one receiver? Do you think that he's good?
Yes.
From USC, I meant.
Yeah.
So I picked the Ravens to win this game. I think that they're going to go 2-1. I think the Lions' defense is going to get exposed by Lamar Jackson. But obviously, I'll tell you what, I do love Coach Campbell as the head coach of your Lions. He had his press conferences can be very funny at times, and I think that he's a coach that makes his players play hard.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think your new coaching staff, led by Dan Campbell, is much better than the Matt Patricia one.
Yep.
So now let's talk about this game right here. Not a time to we're not going to waste time talking about this because the Arizona Cardinals are playing the Jaguars. Number one pick in 2021 versus number one pick in 2019 in Lawrence and Murray. So I'm going to pick Murray to outduel Trevor Lawrence in this game because I think that the Jaguars defense is not going to stop Kyler Murray. They're not going to stop DeAndre Hopkins. They're not going to stop Chase Edmonds. The Cardinals defense has been so much better this year than it was last year, and I think the Cardinals defense will be the reason why. I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to get his job saved.
Yeah, I think Cardinals, they got a narrow win. They shouldn't have won that game. They should have lost on the field goal, but that's the breaks. And I think with the Jags, I think that's going to be another losing session for Lawrence and Meyer, and I think that Arizona goes 3-0.
Absolutely, they've been playing so well. They started out great last year, but they faltered in December and January. But I really think that if their defense continues to play, they are playing right now, then I think that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a playoff team, which I know they can because they have a talented group of players. But I put Kingsbury on the hot seat because I'm not sure if he was the right fit for Arizona. He's just the right fit for Kyler Murray. I just think the Cardinals right now are showing me that they're playing really good to begin the season, even though it's early.
Yep.
But for the Jags, do you think is it time to overreact on Urban Meyer being fired after year one, or do you think Urban Meyer is the right fit in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think they've done a lot to restructure the organization for Urban. They've hired a lot of coaches, I know, more so than I think than any other NFL team. They've given a lot of control. I feel that they aren't going to fire him after 1 year. There's a slight chance he wants to change his mind and go back to college. Perhaps the USC job, would be up his alley, but I don't even see him leaving for that. I just think that I think he's going to stick around. Like, he'll get some wins this year, and then next year they'll try to get even better, I think.
I think I agree with you with Urban Meyer not leaving for USC. I just don't think he's going to go there. I think Urban Meyer is going to get used to coaching in the NFL, and I think he'll like coaching in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, anyways, now let's talk about the Washington football team going up against the Buffalo Bills. Talk about that game last week for the Washington football team with Taylor Heineke being the hero of this game. He was an unsung hero because Ryan Fitzpatrick's out, but Taylor Heineke could step up. And the Giants, Daniel Jones, had a good first half, but in the second half, he made some costly plays. The Giants' defense remains a question mark, but I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills to win this game because I think Josh Allen is going to torch that Washington football team defense with his passes.
Oh yeah, this will be a Bills win. Their defense is pretty good, but they're not going to be able to move the ball, I don't think, very well.
Are you talking about Washington's offense?
Yeah.
Because do you think the Bills' defense is better than it was last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. So, anyways, now let's talk about the Dolphins and the Raiders. So, just heard that Tua Tagovailoa is not playing Week 3. He is day-to-day with a rib injury. That's good news. But I do expect the Dolphins to win this game because I feel like that last week, that blowout loss against the Bills, that was inexcusable. And I expect the Dolphins to come out of this and bounce back in a big way. And I think Jacoby Brissett could get it done. I know him pretty well in New England, and I think Jacoby Brissett is a decent backup quarterback.
Yeah.
And who's your pick to win between the Dolphins and the Raiders?
I think that's going to be the Raiders, and they're going to go to 3-0.
Do you think the Dolphins will get blown out like that again, or do you think they're going to bounce back offensively?
Well, I think it depends on Tua's injury, but yeah, we'll see. I don't see the Raiders blowing them out, but I see the Raiders winning.
Tua is actually out for this game, and he's day-to-day with a bruised ribs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going with Raiders.
So he has fractured ribs. So basically, the Dolphins' offensive line is good, but that hit was kind of brutal from what I saw. So I have no doubt in my mind that I think Tua Tagovailoa will still have a great season, though.
Yeah.
But the Deshaun Watson rumors going to Miami, I have to put that to bed. See what you have in Jacoby Brissett. He could be Nick Foles 2.0 for the Dolphins. That's what I could see.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Seahawks taking on the Vikings. Kirk Cousins does not play well against Russell Wilson. So I'll leave it at that. Vikings defense is not good. I think Seattle will beat them handily.
Yep, I agree.
And then let's talk about the Buccaneers playing the LA Rams. I think this is the game of the year here in LA. And I think that Tom Brady's going to live up to the hype playing in LA. I think Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady will go head-to-head. Both of those guys will have 4 touchdown passes. But I'm going to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win and go 3-0. What about you?
Yeah, I am going to pick the Buccaneers to win that game as well. I just think they're going to be able to take advantage of a couple of flaws in the Rams game, and I think they'll be a little more clutch at the end in the Rams, and I think the Buccaneers go to 3-0.
Rams defense is good. Rams passing game is good with Stafford. They just have to learn how to run the football. That's what I think. Losing Cam Akers isn't good. I like Sony Michel, though, but the Rams are going to mix and match with their backs.
Yeah.
Now on to Sunday Night Football. So, Aaron Rodgers returns to his hometown, and the 49ers have a quarterback issue. With Garoppolo, they needed to play Trey Lance more. I think the Niners' defense is good, but I think Green Bay wins this one in a narrow way just because I think Mason Crosby is going to kick the game-winning field goal. What about you?
Oh, wow. Yeah, is this is Packers 49ers? I'm going with I'm going to go actually with the Niners on this one. I think the Niners something doesn't look right with the Packers. I can't put my finger on it. So I'm going to go with the Niners have the edge with Kyle Shanahan getting the win.
And do you say that because when the Niners defense is healthy, then they can really get to Rodgers, especially with Bosa and Armstead?
Yeah.
And then with the offense, I think you have to rely on George Kittle catching those passes along with Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. And no Raheem Mostert. I think Elijah McGuire is going to step up. I think Trey Sermon's good too. And I also think that Garoppolo may have a big game, but I just feel like that it's time to begin the Trey Lance era in San Francisco.
Yeah, it might be. We'll see what happens, though.
So he didn't even play last week. So now let's talk about Monday Night Football. Both teams are 1-1, the Eagles and Cowboys. I think Jalen Hurts, I expect him to have another good game. I think Dak Prescott's going to have a good game too, but one team can win this game. I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Eagles by 3 points, and Greg Zuerlein kicks the game-winning field goal against the Eagles. And I say that because I really think that Dak Prescott, and this is going to be Dak Prescott's first game back in front of Cowboy fans at AT&T Stadium. So that's why I picked the Cowboys to win this game. And the Cowboys, they're still my pick to win the NFC East with Prescott back.
Yeah, I picked the Cowboys too. I think they look pretty good, and I don't have much faith in the Eagles here.
And why don't you not have much faith in the Eagles? Is it because of the injury to Brandon Graham on defense?
Yeah, that's part of it. I'm not so sold on Jalen Hurts still.
Why are you not still sold on Jalen Hurts? He looked good in his first 2 games as a starting quarterback.
I think we need to see a little bit more from him. I didn't think he looked that good against the 49ers. They just put up 11 points. So I think we just got to see what's up. And the first game, okay, they went down to Atlanta and whipped that team, but I think we need to see more out of Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely. I mean, he's going through growing pains, but I do think that he's an upgrade over Carson Wentz at quarterback. But I do think that a lot of people, the Eagles are going to prove a lot of people wrong. And I don't think Nick Sirianni's one and done. You got to give him a chance.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about some baseball here. So the Dodgers already in the playoffs, as you know. The Dodgers took 2 out of 3 from the Reds. And talk about last night's game. The Dodgers beat the Rockies in extra innings, especially in 10 innings. And I'll tell you what, the Dodgers keep taking care of their own business and winning ball games. But the Giants actually got the win yesterday, too, against the Padres. So basically the Dodgers still remain a game back. And do you think that there's – and you don't think the Dodgers will win the NL West? I still think they have a shot at it still.
They do. Let's see what last night. I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. Yeah, the Giants and the Dodgers both won. Yeah, that's tough. The Padres just are collapsing. Just what a nightmare of a season for them. Yeah, we would have been nice to have them lose that game. The Giants, they came back to win it, really, I guess you could say. But tough loss for the Padres. I think with the Dodgers, they went to extra innings. Got to win those games against Colorado. So they are playing today as well, right?
Yes, it's Walker Buehler that's on the mound today for the Dodgers.
Uh-huh.
And then Max Scherzer tomorrow. So basically everybody's healthy in the rotation for the Dodgers.
Yeah, they got to get those 2 wins. And then, Giants, Padres, that's tonight as well. Padres slight favorites, it looks like. So.
Yeah, so the Padres, they're definitely collapsing. Do you think it's time for them to fire Jace Tingler?
Yeah, I think they got to fire him this year for sure. I mean, yeah. I guess you wait to see. Wait until they get eliminated, or the season's over. But yeah, I can't see him coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless they make the playoffs, then you could say maybe.
If the Padres don't make the playoffs, then Jace Tingler's probably going to get fired. And I feel like that the Padres need a if they fire Jace Tingler, they're going to need a manager with proven experience, especially if they want to bring Bruce Bochy out of retirement. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be a good move, I think. Very interesting move. Yeah.
Bochy has had World Series experience. He originally managed the Padres, and I feel like that he can give them the spark that they need, especially winning championships.
Yeah, what about the Cardinals and the Red Sox? Both catching fire here. Red Sox on a 6-game win streak and the Cardinals on a 10-game win streak.
Well, I think maybe the Cardinals can overtake the Reds in that second wild card spot.
Oh, yeah, they already have. Yeah, by 4 games. I think that there's really, it's the wild card is probably going to the Cardinals at this point.
Yeah, let's see how the last few weeks of the season unfolds here. So the Dodgers take on the Rockies tonight in Game 2. Do you expect Walker Buehler to pitch well tonight?
Yes, I certainly do.
And what about for Thursday when Max Scherzer starts? Do you expect him to pitch well too?
Yes, definitely. He's been on fire since they traded for him.
Also, let's talk about Cody Bellinger. A year of injuries for him. Do you see him returning to top form maybe next year? And do you think the Dodgers should bench him in the playoffs?
Who?
Cody Bellinger.
You think they should bench him?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. That'd be crazy, though, because he's had a pretty good history. But
yeah, I mean,
why do you think they should bench him?
Kind of struggling at the plate, but if he misses the rest of this season, I wouldn't be shocked because I want him to be healthy for next year, and that I want his ribs and also the injuries that he's dealing with to get better.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see him return to MVP form, which I know he can, but I just don't think that this year's his year.
Yeah.
So that's what I think here. So also, anyways, after the Dodgers clinching home field advantage in the NL wildcard game, is there a shot that they could still clinch the NL West with 2 weeks left to go in the regular season?
Oh, sure. Yeah. They need to keep winning. It's out of their hands because they got to leapfrog the Giants. And I think a tiebreaker goes to the Giants, right? Because they have the season series.
Yes, if both teams have to play a game 163, then that game will take place in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're going to have to play a tiebreaker game.
Oh, I see. They would be a tiebreaker to see who gets the wild card versus the division title.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen if both teams are tied for first place by the end of the regular season. They're going to have to play one game regular season, extend the regular season to game 163 to decide this.
Wow. Yeah, that could be bad for both teams.
Why do you think that could be bad for both teams?
Because you got to you set your pitching staff, a certain way, but now you got to try to win the division, and you're throwing a bunch of pitchers out there, and it can throw off your pitching for the postseason. It
could, but let's see what happens here. So, anyways, let's talk about some college football. So, Alabama beat Florida in a close one. What were your overall takeaways in watching that game?
Which one was it? Sorry.
Alabama and Florida.
Oh yeah. Well, Alabama, they're the team to beat still. They're on the road. Yeah, they didn't have their A game. They still won. And it's Alabama's title to lose every year.
Absolutely. Except for that one year in 2019 when the LSU Tigers overtook Alabama for that spot. And LSU had a special season, but now they lost a lot of their players to the NFL.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about USC and Washington State. So Keaton Slovis left the game with a neck injury, and then they started a freshman quarterback that turned out to be pretty good. So do you think that USC is definitely heading in the right direction now that Clay Helton is gone?
Yeah, I think, Clay Helton's a good man, and he's just a good person, and I wish him a lot of luck and happiness. It just wasn't quite working out, for the standards that USC has. So I think their coaching search is going to be very exciting. I think they could bring in a lot of different guys. Maybe Eric Bieniemy.
Bieniemy would be good, but I want Jack Del Rio, USC alum, to coach USC.
Yeah, his name always gets floated out there, but
he should take that job because he could really restore USC.
Yeah.
Since he went there, and I think that he could bring toughness and discipline to that program. So, anyways, now let's talk about do you think that Jackson Dart could be the starting quarterback for USC now instead of Keaton Slovis?
Maybe. We'll see what happens, though. What do you think?
From what I heard, he had a good game, but let's see how Keaton Slovis responds to that neck injury first. So can you give us your take on Michigan State's win last Saturday?
Yeah, I think that they looked really good. Once again, on the road in a tough environment against a ranked team, and they pulled off a win by 21 points. So they looked really good.
They sure did look really good, that's for sure. So final thoughts and announcements. So our next show will be next Wednesday to talk, as myself and Matt will predict week 4 of the 2021 NFL season. But also, are you looking forward to seeing Tom Brady return to his old stomping grounds next week?
Oh, yeah, that'll be a good one.
We're going to have a lot to talk about then next weeks. And then whenever the playoff bracket's out, then we're going to have to predict our playoff our MLB playoff prediction. So, Matt, have a great rest of your day. And for those listening, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, Loro. Bye, everyone.